Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today we are going to be playing a puzzle map. This is made by Sethbling. Some of you may recognise it. It is called Suck It Up. If you don't know who Sethbling is, be sure to go down to the description box and check him out. You can also find a link there to download this world if you want to play it for yourself. I just finished watching his video a while ago and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go. And already I've forgotten how he showed you to do the first level. But let me show you the controls for this game first of all. There's 16 puzzles in total, and on each of them the idea is that we place down a sponge and that we want to get rid of the water source blocks. So there are these glass blocks right here. They are actually going to turn into water when we execute the level, which we can do by placing down this villager. So there you go, the water starts flowing and then we can use the squid to reset the level. So what we have to do is place down the sponges, or just the single sponge, in the correct position so that it will suck up the water. Now as soon as the water touches it, the sponge is going to turn to a wet sponge, and then the other water is going to either hit it at the same time or hit it later, and what we want it to do is hit it at the same time. So we're going to place a sponge there and execute the level and see what happens. So you saw this side got there first, but then the other side was a little bit later. So let's reset the level. And the way I think you do this first one is you put it in the hole here, because they're both going to flow to that, because that's the lowest point. So let's try this. And there you go. It didn't look like it did, but they must have hit it at the same time, because both of the water sources disappeared. So now it's time for the next level, and I'm not sure what one is, but I'm going to head in this direction. And by the way, apparently going back into one of these areas will reset the level, so we don't want to do that. We're going to try and do all 16. So this one is going to go 1, 2 down into there, and that one's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think placing the sponge there would be the place to do it, and it wasn't good enough. So this one got there slightly quicker. Now that makes this a very tricky challenge. Interesting, I just solved it. We are going to have to make some cuts in this video. I'm going to spend quite some time thinking about this, so that is something that we will do. But I'm going to reset this level because I couldn't quite figure it out. If we put the block there, then it's 1 and 2 and it touches the sponge block, and 1 and 2 and it touches it as well. But I've now realised that they actually touch them on diagonals, so diagonals count here. If we put the sponge there, it goes 1, 2 and hits it on the diagonal, and 1, 2 and hits it on the diagonal. So let's execute the level, and you see that right as it hits the diagonals of the sponge block, it removes the water. So we have learnt something already, something that is going to be very valuable when doing these levels. So let's go on to the next one. Over here we have 4 water sources and 1 sponge. Just 1 sponge with 4 water source blocks. That I straight away am very confused as to how we're going to do this one. Wherever we put this, we're not going to be able to even touch the other ones unless the sponge has some other behaviour that I'm not aware of. I think what we will do is just place it there and see what happens. So it's going to get that one, obviously, but it gets none of the ones down below. So the way that we get the ones down below is by the sponge touching it, so it can also go there as well. So let's execute that. And then it just gets the one, but not the ones on the other side. Okay, so I'm thinking that the water must connect to the other ones, and then maybe the sponge can then soak it up. So if we put it here, when it gets to the point above there, it's going to connect with this one, and then it's going to connect with the sponge as well, and it may just suck up all of the water. Except this time it didn't get it on a diagonal. I don't know why it didn't do that. Looks like we're going to have to try something else. Okay, let's try placing it here, because I've done it over there and it removed these 2 water source blocks, so it does have something to do with the water connecting. Let's execute the level, and this time it only did that side there. Well, we are learning, we are making progress. Let's keep going. Okay, so if we place the sponge on this side here, it gets rid of those water source blocks, which is confusing. If we place it on the other side, it doesn't. It gets rid of all of them. So maybe there's something directional going on here, but if you place it in that position, it gets rid of all of them, and that is the third of 16 puzzles solved. These are really hard. You have to just kind of trial and error a lot of these. But let's have a look at this one. We get 2 sponges on this one, and straight away I know that I'm going to have to sit back and think about this one. So here's the thing, the water, the three water sources at the front are going to flow down and meet, and if we put them in the middle, like on either side, the two sponges, then we've used up all of our sponges, and these ones are just going to go over to either edge. So I think if we put them in like this, then that's going to spread and connect to this one at least, and I don't think this is going to win it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. And of course I've just realised if there's one sponge we can place down to get rid of all three of these, then the other one, actually it wouldn't, because if there's only one in the hole it's going to flow to the other side. I don't know. Let's execute that and see what happens. Okay, so it didn't get rid of the ones at the front. So progress has been made by putting a single sponge here. This water is now going to flow over here. That is something else we've got to consider when solving these puzzles. I do like this. I do like a good puzzle. Anyway, I'm going to continue trying to figure this one out. Ah, puzzle games are fantastic. You keep trying things and eventually you get there. So I got pretty close when I started doing things like this. So that one is going to remove the water source immediately, and the others are going to arrive at this one just out of sync with each other. So there's always two left over, but I was getting close, and then I thought about it and I tried something a little bit different. So we're going to put one down there, so this one gets removed instantly. This one is then going to flow over to the front here, and if we put another one there, all of them should connect just at the same time. Or at least I think this one, that one coming down the middle there, is the one that connects them up, because it also connects with the water below it as it touches that one. And that is another one done. That took quite some time. We're going to move on to this one over here next. I have no idea what order you're supposed to do these in, but this looks interesting. I think you would put a sponge back there, and then this is going to flow out and connect with all of them. However, it would flow down here first. Yep, this one's going to take up a little bit of time by the looks of it, and I think the challenge has been repeated over here as well. So that would suggest that you could use 3 of the sponge blocks in either situation, or that maybe use one in the middle somehow to bring it all together. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to play around with this one and see where I can get. Well, that is some progress right there. We've put 2 sponge blocks over the back so the water flows to the front, and then the last place that the water links up, it seems to be, is over on this side, because I originally started out with this sponge at the front here and it'd only take the front water source block. So now if we reset the level, we can try and do the same thing on the other side. However, I think there is a directional thing going on over here, because I've just noticed that when doing this on the other challenges. Oh, and this one is actually laid out slightly different, so the equivalent is over here. I thought that the edge might go up to here where you can't place blocks. But anyway, let's execute this level. Let's see what happens on this side over here, because we know how to solve the other one. So that one doesn't remove those 2 water source, which means we're going to have to spend a little bit of time over here figuring this side out. It could be that it's the same direction, so it means to go there. In fact, that's probably going to be it. So let's try quickly. I put that in the wrong place. Let's sort that out. Okay, let's do this. We know that one's going to work, and this one over here has worked as well. So we've learnt something directional. It seems that this direction, which is east, seems to have some sort of update thing for the water. I don't know, like some sort of priority. Anyway, let's go back down this direction and solve the next one. This is obviously going to take me some time again, and at first glance this is going to be tricky. We have 3 of these. Oh man, this is going to take me some time to figure this one out. Okay, let's execute this level and see where the water goes. It all flows to this bit right here. So let's reset that. If we put a sponge block at the front here, then these ones on either corner are actually going to flow to that side over there and that side over there as well, because it's equal distance. You can see there's a diagonal to travel, and there is now if we have the sponge there. So that one is going to get rid of this one, and then these 3 are going to flow out to either side. So the other 2 sponges must go somewhere around these positions, and it's probably going to be a case of trial and error. So let's just start off. Actually, the place to put it was probably there. Let's execute it and see what happens. Yeah, so it's as it hits that one. However, it didn't link up with this water, which it might do on the diagonal when it comes into this block. So let's quickly try that again. Let's reset the level. This is so much fun. I do love puzzles. We'll put one there. That's the correct position. And we'll just try a single one there. We don't need 2 on one side, do we? And there we go. I think we just sussed it together on camera there. Didn't need to think about it too much. This one, I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at this. So it was there, wasn't it? And that would mean it's probably the same place on the other side. Let's execute that. And there we go, we did it. Another level done. Excellent. I am really enjoying this. Let's go on to the next one. And for how many sponges do we have for this one? Okay, so those two are going to flow to there. And I think if you put one like that, then the other two are going to flow over to this place. So 1, 2, that one's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we put it there. Actually, I think we needed to put it there because it wouldn't have linked up. Anyway, let's execute that. See what happens. Oh, nice. We just done one. First try. Excellent. This is so damn cool. I am loving this. Okay, so back down to this one. I think these are the easier ones down here. And these are going to flow there probably at the exact same time. They did. Excellent. Another one done. On to the next one. We're on a roll here. Let's see if we can get 3 in a row. And that would be getting them all on the first try. Okay, so 2 sponges here. That's interesting. Now this one is going to require me to think a little bit, so I'll do that. And then we'll see if we can get it on the first go. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. If we put a sponge down the end here, then that one is not going to go over here. It's going to go to either side, or possibly both at the same time, which makes me think that this block here is going to get filled up with water at some point. It also has to connect to these ones first as well. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the best place to put it. I think we'll just try it there and see what happens. So let's execute that. And we got one of them. No, we only got one of them. We got 2 left. Okay, let's try that again. So we almost did it first go. I gave it some more thought and I realised this one is just going to spread out in all directions. So it needs to be a little bit further away, the sponge, but then when it hits it, it's going to be connected to the other water sources, and there you go. That is another level done. I really like this. This is so cool. So now we're going up here in this direction, onto the next ones. I think the hardest ones are actually in that corner, and we went around it the wrong way. Now this is cool. They're all going to flow. I have no idea how they're going to flow, actually. They're obviously all going to go into the centre, and then they're going to go to that block last, which would make you think that that would be the place to put a sponge block. However, you got 2 sponge blocks, so let's see what happens. It left these 2 on this side over. I think you got to place them like this, or maybe the other way. Okay, let's try the other way, and maybe even diagonal as well. Who knows? Let's give that one a go. And we did it. Very nice, very nice. On to the next one. This is awesome. Okay, so what have we got over here? They are all going to flow into that area very quickly. And we just have 1 sponge block. Just the one. Okay. Right, I'm going to execute this first, just to see how it plays out. Kind of looked like that was the last place the water might have gone to then. Let's put the sponge there. And it didn't get the water on that side. Interesting. Looks like this one is probably going to take me a few attempts. So I think I'm going to have to throw my towel in the ring on this one, because I have been putting this sponge in just about every position around these water source blocks that I can, and it feels like this would be the place. So that's going to flow forward and then down, and then it's going to touch with the sponge, and these are going to flow in together and then down and touch with the sponge. However, when we execute it, you can see the water is both there and there when this sucks up the water. I don't know if that's a bug or an error or something wrong, but we're just going to pass on that one and come back to it later. Maybe I'll be able to figure that out. This next one though looks like it's going to give me a headache. Possibly. We have 4 sponges and 4 holes, and is that 9 water source blocks? I think what I'm going to do straight away is just execute this to see how the water behaves, and then it all meets up equally. See, that makes me think that maybe what we want to do is put them on some sort of diagonal thing like this. Let's stand on the sponge when we do this so we can see everything going down. Okay, so all but that side. That might be an update order thing. So let's try it again, but we'll put the sponges on the other side. So this time it'll be on the left. Let's execute that. And now it's that one over there that isn't done. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So I think this one is going to do it, and if you just notice that those two are closer together on that side, actually it's just this one here is on the opposite side. That's the best way of explaining it. If you look at it from back there, it's over on this side, and that's just an update order thing. And there we go, I think we just did it. Okay, so that one was a little strange, but we figured it out in the end. Now this one could possibly be the hardest level due to the way that they were arranged, so we might be doing the hardest one with a few more left to go. So we have 2 sponge blocks. They are obviously going to flow into the middle and meet at different times. I'm going to guess that it's something to do with diagonals. Let's try that. Okay, that was interesting. I think let's reset the level. We'll try one more and see what happens. I'm going to put one there and there. Let's go stand on top of our sponge block. Oh, and that was close. So that time, yeah, that time we got a little bit less. Anyway, let's keep trying this. Okay, this one I figured out pretty quickly because that one takes care of all 3 of these. So another one back there, and this does it. However, I just had a thought, which I thought would be really interesting for one of these puzzles. What if you had to put it in the ground so they all just spread out, and then there was this place that they all connect at the same time? Although I doubt there is going to be now. Anyway, there might be a way to do that like I just showed you, but we're not going to play around with that. We are going to just finish that one again and go do the last 3 down here. We still have that one, which I'm really confused about, so maybe we won't get to do them all, but this looks really challenging. We have 4 sponges, a heck of a lot of little drops for the water to go into. This is going to be an interesting one. Let's see what happens to the water. It kind of goes everywhere. Okay, let's give this a try. There you go, I just did it. You can see where the sponges are placed. Let's just reset the level and we'll do that again, and I'll explain how I solved it. It was a lot of trial and error, and as I figured out the best places to collect certain groups of blocks, I realised that there are some quirks going on here, because even though these are laid out, you know, almost symmetrical, yes, all of this bit's symmetrical, but down the front here it is actually slightly different. The water just updates in strange ways, and it means that you have to put the sponges in different positions. So this one right here, it gets rid of those 2 because they both touch it at the same time. This one on the side gets rid of those water source blocks around there. Now if you put this one in the same position over here, it doesn't get rid of all of them on this side, so we had to put them over here. And then this one is to get rid of the ones in the middle. If I put that in the middle, it gets rid of most of these except one of them on this side as well. So I just had to keep moving them around until I could see that it was removing most of them at the correct times. And there you go. That's all of it done. So on to our next one. That did take me quite some time. I am looking forward to doing these last few. However, I still don't think we're going to be able to do that one there. Anyway, we have 2 sponges, and this is the first puzzle I've seen where there's already sponges in place, which is interesting because surely one of these is, well, that's going to flow down there and it's not actually going to touch the sponge until this one comes around, which I think its diagonal means it would. So I think we just want one there and one there. So that one gets removed. This one flows to the lowest place, which is over there. And I think that might be it, except it didn't do this one here, did it? But it got the one on the left. Okay, let's try again. I think maybe what we were supposed to do is put one there. That will get that one anyway, because it will flow over the top of it, and then this one just needs one there. Maybe that was it. Okay. Made a little bit of a mistake there. So we got the one on this side correct. We just need this one there. And then it should do it. There you go. We've done another one. Excellent. Okay, and then this one down here should be really easy by now. We should have figured these out. Or at least how to do them. This feels familiar to one we've already done. It really does. And I think the place to put it is there. Because it's all going to spread out. But it's only going to get those 2. Okay. Well, I don't know if you saw that. Of course you did. I'm going to edit that in. I decided just to put it there for my second attempt, and that did it. So we didn't do them in the correct order, but we did all of them, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. And I'm just going to head back over to this one, and I think walking through these resets them, doesn't it? Okay, well, we know we've done that one. It's just this one here and I have no idea if I'm going to be able to do it. Well, I think I'm going to settle for 15 out of 16. I put the sponge block in all sorts of different positions, and it feels like this right here is the solution. It's kind of obvious as well, which makes me think maybe it's not, but I don't know where else I can put the sponge block. I've literally put it in every place around here, so I'm going to call it that. 15 out of 16 is good for me. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. It always be appreciated. Be sure to check out Sethbling, and if you want to find his channel and the download for this map, if you want to play it yourself, it's all down there in the description box as always. But that is going to be it from me. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.